Lindsay Maricle, happy to introduce her. So, Tulsa native, college and professionally went off, was out of state, and then is now back here, and it's exciting to have her here.
That's great. Lindsay, welcome to the parish and
Thank
school.
you.
What attracted you to come to the school of St. Mary? Why come back to Tulsa?
Well, I have been away for about 25 years, and I'm the oldest cousin on my mom's side, and family is everything to me, and it's been hard to be away. And when my life kind of changed paths, I just wanted to come home. And really what attracted me to St. Mary was my daughter. I drove her around to show her the different campuses of where she could potentially go to school, and she just fell in love with St. Mary. So then I kind of went, well, she's God's child, she knows something. And so I started researching and looking, and I just fell in love with the spirit of the community that's here at St. Mary's. I attended Mass and just went, okay, I really like this place. And so then I started praying that the position came open at that point. So.
And God listened. Maureen Clements discerned it was time to retire. Father Jack, what was the process after she announced to you that she intended to retire? What was the process that you started to search for a new principal?
So when she and I talked, so I was asking her, well, when do you want to announce it, and what do we need to do, our steps? And so it really was, forming a search committee and really getting a comprehensive role profile, some job description, but really role profile. And then I had heard through the grapevine that maybe Lindsay had heard that she was a great principal, what she did at the cathedral and in Springfield. And so we got connected, and so one of us was stalking the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was stalking her. But we had heard that. But so even just as a possibility, for someone who could potentially be a really good candidate that we had heard great things about and stuff. And then we opened the position up, had applicants. Lindsay was one of those. And when we wrote up the role profile, first of all, our committee was like, so how many people are we hiring? Like, this job is like, it looks like maybe it takes 2 or 3 people, to do. And then the other thing that after we interviewed Lindsay, people were like, was this written for her? And it wasn't, but it was just really the fit has just been phenomenal. So we're excited. I mean, we were grateful to Maureen, kind of what she had done for the school community, just her long-term fidelity to Catholic education. But we're also excited, like Lindsay, kind of what she brings and her energy and excitement.
Well, in that role profile, what are some examples of some of the things that you were looking for?
So, I mean, when we were looking at so basically there were things that were non-negotiables, so had to be a person of faith, which Lindsay is. Faith was it was evident. It was just such a part of her life. And so organization, kind of the qualities of leadership that we were looking for in terms of able to kind of cast a vision, to kind of work well with people, and definitely Lindsay is a people person. I remember like talking to her on the phone when she was at her, before she came here. So she's at her school. Well, it's like all these people. Oh yeah, no, I'm going to be there in just a second. It's like you just hear. I mean, she's just available, and so again, kind of availability to families, but to students, and really just kind of focusing on meeting people where they are and helping them to take the next step. And so those were all those things that we put into the role profile. And so again, just Lindsay, as she was like going through her approach to stuff, it was like check, 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 check. So,
well, Lindsay, you read that role profile.
I did.
Was that intimidating at all?
No, not really, because I kind of felt like it was written for me. I mean, I am a strong believer in karma and that God takes you down the path that you need to take. And it was kind of funny because when my daughter chose School of St. Mary, I of course, as a parent, filled out the paperwork. I'm interested in your school, please let me know. Well, Maureen had emailed me and she was like, are you in Springfield? I'm like, yeah. Well, Maureen went to jury and I went to jury. And then we started talking and she's like, well, my job is actually probably going to come open. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Father Jack kind of already told me. So I just feel like everything just fell into place. So I think had I not been in that mindset, the role profile probably would have been a little intimidating. But as I was reading through it, John Hanisch was kind of working with me and he said, you might want to have some examples. And I just found it so easy to find examples as I went through it. It just was written in a way that I think about education, and especially Catholic education. So not too bad, it wasn't.
Okay. Well, this has been an interesting month. If you look back, the conclusion of one school year in one school, and then now you've got all this adventure to take on this summer. Well, how's your life been in the past 4 weeks?
It has been absolutely crazy. I will have to say I was so excited when I was hired. I kind of jumped in head first versus feet first. Mm-hmm. And I've actually been working with a lot of the staff. I've exchanged emails all through May. So leaving my former school is really hard. That was my home and those were my people. And it just allowing myself to just jump into St. Mary's as well kind of helped that transition. So I kind of double dipped. I have to be like, is this Agnes or Mary? Which one am I doing today? What hat do I have on? But I've just loved meeting everyone, working with everyone, and then throw a move in the middle of all of that. And so it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but it was kind of funny on my final day at St. Agnes. I thought I would be really sad and really weepy, but I just felt like peace. I felt like everybody at St. Agnes was so excited for me to finally be reunited with my husband. We'd been living apart for 9 months, and they were just so excited for St. Mary's to get me and for me to get St. Mary's. I think they were worried that I was going to move and not have a family, a school family, and the fact that I found one that fit me perfectly kind of made everything a little bit easier.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing that I would just, so this was not a setup, like even though I had contacted Lindsay, I knew she was a good candidate. I mean, really the process, we had some other great candidates as well, but it really was Lindsay fit to a T what we were looking for. So again, so God's providence, karma, kind of however you talk about it, I definitely believe this was meant to be.
Agreed.
Awesome. Going back to your Tulsa roots, where'd you go to grade school? Where'd you go to high school?
So I went to St. Pius, and I was St. Pius parishioner, and again, everything happens for a reason. Monsignor Dorney was my parish priest when I was growing up, so he actually was in charge of my sacramental life, so it was kind of fun to see him as I reconnected here. I moved on to Bishop Kelly and was a graduate there, and I played soccer there and was involved in FCA and did lots of things there. I've stayed in contact as an alum as well. And all my family's here for the most part. I mean, they've kind of moved away in their adult time, but we're still pretty connected here. My mom and all her siblings with the Catholic schooling in the area. I was baptized at Christ the King, so I feel like I kind of have a hand everywhere. So I'm really excited to be able to have that experience here at St. Mary's as well.
Great. So we're winning her over to St. Mary's.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, we won. You won me and my mom. It's like you hit the jackpot.
What are some of your hopes for the next couple of years at the School of St. Mary?
Yeah, I think for me, whenever I look at our kids really do so well. I mean, academically, they do great. We've had a lot of stability with teachers over the years, really phenomenal teachers over the years. So academically they do well. They're known as the good kids. The community is such an important part of that, and so many of them, as they kind of grow together. And so I think it's really capitalizing on that. A lot of just like listening to Lindsay talk about just various things. She stays up to date on stuff. She's looking ahead, and so I think just really kind of casting a vision for, okay, well, what's the next step, and how do we, what we already have that's so great, make that even greater. Kind of new things that we can do and try, but really, but maintaining kind of what has really kept our kids and our families really just that level of excellence.
Well, I think for me, to kind of add on to that, I think the beauty of Catholic schools is the traditionality of it and the spiritual life of it. And so our kids have such a beautiful core to them. And so as an educator, I think in the coming years, I would like to bring some of the more new type of educational concepts and let, like robotics, for example, and let our kids just like show what they can do. I think sometimes the greatest deficit of a Catholic community is our pride that we don't brag on ourselves enough. You know, like these are awesome kids and here are the awesome things that they do, and here are all the opportunities we're going to provide for them. And I think getting parents involved and parishioners involved and translating our church family to also a school family and one big happy family. And one thing I was talking about with a parent the other day is I have a passion for middle school. That's where my teaching career was in. That's a hard time for kiddos, and I think that we need to connect them with people that will make them even better. So I was talking about, well, do you think that there are some older parishioners that would help me maybe with a woodworking class, you know, because it's all about STEM right now, building, engineering, things like that. And our kids are so strong in science already. We have a beautiful music program. Technology, I'm putting a lot of emphasis on. That's kind of one of my things. And so let's throw that engineering in there too, but then also pull the parish in. Can they share some of that knowledge with our kids? And then our kids benefit from it because they're not just taking their traditional subjects, they're taking their knowledge from those subjects and applying them to some skill work. And a lot of our kids go into engineering fields or go into science fields or medical fields. So I think introducing especially our middle school kids to that's kind of my vision, is giving them more facets to show how awesome they are, I guess is the best way to describe my kind of short-term plan.